Okay, there we go. Now we have audio. That's cool. Oh my god. That's so awesome. Now sound is good. Yeah, I'll bet. That's so awesome. Now sound is good. Yeah, I'll bet. Right on. So much before. You guys left the place, the old woman's house, got to Deadlook, got to the Black Tavern, Black Talon, got paid by Valianter, had a bit of an exchange, his counting man's missing. You guys are now outside collecting from the quarry, because Resman wanted to grab a little bit of gunpowder, or black powder as the case may be, because what's a gun? Yeah? With that said, you guys are now
Do we
situated.
know anything about his money man, his counting guy?
No.
No.
I have suspicions it's a player, but and come as Thomas, but we'll see. Later. So we go grab the gunpowder or black powder.
The boom flash powder.
Walking out into the rain, man, you guys make your way towards some section of the quarry that you're assuming has what you're after. And before long, you find yourself rounding a portion of the basin that's outcropping, and there's a squat storage structure there, a small slatted wood building. And he walks towards the doorway upon it, where there's a haft of wood set in a latch. He pushes it up and he pulls the thing open, and it creaks across in the rain, revealing a bunch of kegs inside. He points for a moment, then goes down, leaning over. He pulls one out from them, and holding his hand over his head futilely for a moment, he looks up at the rain. And he says, "Right, try to get yourself squashed in against the building. I'll pour it into your sack."
Just throw the keg into the sack.
He gives a shake of his head. "No, man, do you know how much this is worth? There's quite a bit in here, packed down. Open up your bag then."
Alright,
Resden, do you have a sack?
I do. I have a sack, and it has all my good stuff in there.
You don't have an empty bag?
I didn't have an empty bag, no. No. That's why I was like, hey, can we... Okay. So, you know what? I take a change of clothes, and I, have them pour it into the change of clothes.
What?
Like a t-shirt, I tie off, like, the arms of the t-shirt.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm trying to improvise, basically, a bag out of my shirt. What?
Do you have a bag of holding at all or no?
So, this is now a
A bag of holding? Okay.
Yes.
Well, you do still have a platinum and a gold and 2 gold pieces, so I don't know how much that keg is. So you could ask if you can buy the keg.
So, yeah, because I'm getting basically what? I'm getting a platinum's worth of gunpowder, right?
Yeah.
Isn't
You're getting 5 golds worth of
He's
gunpowder.
getting
Oh, you're only getting 5 gold.
oh, okay. I didn't know.
because he only took 5 gold out of the
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, because I did my share, right? So, okay.
Yeah, but he didn't do your
Oh,
full share.
Did you
He
want
just
your...
did.
Sorry, you wanted your whole share, that's right.
Yeah, that's what I thought, right? Because he said that
Yeah.
it would... if I had my own stuff, it would be a keg and a half, but it would be a keg for just my...
Is your share 1 or 2 platinum?
2 platinum, his share is.
Okay, yeah. So you'd have 8 platinum and 5 gold. My bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're getting a bag load.
Okay.
So do I get 2 platinum?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that equivalent in gold? 20 gold?
Yeah, 20 gold. But you can just put 2 platinum in your D&D Beyond.
You know what?
But if I put 2 platinum, does it do the auto currency if I use, say,
He gives you the
silver
keg.
or-
It's a small hand keg. He just gives you the keg. So you got a 5-pound keg of black powder.
Okay, thank you. Let's go, Resvin.
You will be thanking me later, my friend.
I don't know if I will because I don't really dabble in whatever you dabble with. I'm more of a artiste. No, I'm not. Let's go.
So as we're going, the town. This is the economic engine of the town. This is where they make their money. This stuff is valuable.
Well, this is where Valentia makes his money. I don't know about the town.
The quarrymaster following along with you there, McGillis, he chuffs a bit. Well, the answer doesn't make his money off just the explosives, boy. I mean, sure as shit that brings a bit of coin through. But it's the accumulation of all. The margins on all of this are faint, squat, really. This terrible, terrible margins. Especially now with no war times happening. There's the odd skirmish here and there, so we get a bit of a supply run now and about. But overall, business has been rather slow. Gee,
Has that
me,
left,
we've been
is
making
this
more
still
off of
being
a bit of
farmed?
marble that we found of late. What's that? He looks towards you. What'd you say, Elf?
has that caused more farming?
He gives a laugh at this and gives you the finger.
Well,
At this, though, he says, to be honest, yeah, it has sent some people into the fields seeking work where they may. I suppose I shouldn't should say, part of the anger I face, the frustration I have is finding good laborers since times have slowed down. I've got slim pickings to some degree as most of the good laborers are heading where there's more steady work.
Maybe you should grab some goblins.
He gives another laugh and then gives you the finger.
well,
Thank you. I apologize for the rain.
yes, thank you, Foreman. Well, we'll let you get back to your business partner, whoever you were meeting with, but
You know what? Is the meat that I have is it still somewhat warm? Julie?
A little bit.
All right. I asked him if he would like a rib, a couple of ribs, to warm your bones up from the cold rain.
He gives a nod and a shrug. Certainly. I think my friend back there would appreciate it as well.
I'll cast prestidigitation on him as well.
To what effect?
To just try him a little bit and then say goodbye. I'll dry him on his head, so that his hair is a little bit drier. But
That's funny. That happens. You do your best. You carve him off a piece of meat. It gets soaked as you hand it over towards him. He says, "We didn't think this through, but it's been my pleasure."
Yeah, true.
And he walks off with the meat dripping in his hand.
well, I grab my horse and say, "Let's go, Resvin."
All right.
Yeah.
Keg it in the backpack and then go. 5 pounds black powder. I really was hoping it was going to be quick. Sorry, dude.
No worries.
Okay, so we're ratcheting along. We go.
See, Victor, see? Less than 20 minutes this time. Give him a thumbs up.
Camera pans against Victor's face to show an expression of...
There was so much more to see in there.
I think I'm just playing face and just ready to either go to a tavern or continue on the road or get this guy's jacket. I'm sure he's starting to get cold.
Roderick shivers as you look down towards him. And then looks up towards
Maybe
you.
a jacket.
And then looks ahead again.
Do I have anything on me? Let me check if I have equipment.
I would also, at any point, if we see somebody selling fruits or vegetables, buy some because looks like everybody's just selling meat.
It's basically condensed vegetables, dude.
Yeah, it's like what, just separated by one. That's all.
Pretty much.
I'll give him like some of my. I have some set of common clothes, so I'll give him like something like that.
You
Like,
offer
I'll
him the
give-
clothes, and he says, "No, man, I need something to fight this rain. Something, a leather cloak or something." Oh,
Do we see anything? Do we?
I can buy one in town. I just need a few gold.
I don't want to go in town at all. Do we see? Let me check my notes. Gotta go all the way back to this. The warehouses outside. We see. Are there any warehouses that look like they sell clothes at all?
No.
We saw Butlock and Siegfried and Sons. I know Butlock is like a blacksmith or something, but
And Siegfried and Sons is a delivery company.
no, nothing. I'll just hand him my cloak. I'll just hand him my cloak. I can bear with it.
Okay. You take it off your shoulders. The rain patters down against your clothes. You don't think anything of it. You hand him your cloak. The light
So
drizzle
go.
continues as you walk towards your horse. The rain patters down, continuing unabated, as you mount up and carry out.
Shall we go to Evening Star then? That's the closest town from here.
Are you sure you want to travel in this dredge? And it was already hard to see on the way here.
Do we know how far from Dublick to Evening Star it is?
About 4 hours ride up.
Ooh. I don't know.
In fact, it might even be dark by the time we get there, especially with this rain.
Well, it's like, what, 2 o'clock right now ish? It's like 3 o'clock right now?
Yeah.
Okay. And does it look like the weather's gonna lighten up at all? Can I look up to the sky and see if the weather might light up at all, or is it gonna stay?
It patters down into your eyeballs. You squint against the rain best you can, looking around at the gray horizon, the clouds stretching away as far as the eye can see.
Yeah. You guys want to stay the night then?
I honestly think it would be better to catch a couple eyes here than be surprised on the road when we can't see or hear anyone approaching us.
We can go to the Blushing Maiden, I guess. That's the
There's no anime songs in here. These are mostly movie and orchestral.
Blush. We go back to the tavern we were, or do we want to find another inn in town? Different one.
I don't think it really matters. We just need a place to stay, get him a cloak, you a cloak since you gave him his.
Yeah, okay. Sure, I'm fine with that. All this, husband?
Yeah, I'm fine with staying in town. Since we're going into town and all that stuff, I can go to like the market and see if I can get myself some, I don't know, whatever they grow here, eggplants or
Okay. You do
I
so.
don't know what the foliage is around here.
You separate from and head down towards the market center. The rest of you are heading towards the inn, I'm assuming?
I'll go find a clothing store to buy Roderick a set of traveling clothes.
Throw me
And
investigation. And what's that, Victor?
And on the way, I'd like to go back to that weaponsmith or blacksmith and see if there's a decent axe that I can pick up.
Okay.
Great axe.
20 for investigation.
You happen upon a tailor's shop nestled squat between some buildings. Although it is nearly only as wide as its doorway, The brickwork is solid. It's very much a separate building here, nestled, and the sign is a gilded tapestry that is billowing, soaked in the rain. The tapestry is hard to read for the script of the embroidery. The logo is very simply a spool of thread with a sword through it.
Oh, is it similar to the one that the symbol that we found on the red sash of the bandits at the hospice?
It does look similar, yes.
Oh, shit. Okay, I'll go in.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking the name I gave it, because I did give it a name. But as you walk in, you hear a somewhat familiar voice state, "I paid good money for this. I expected it to be prepared today. I expected that today would be the day that I would have this cloak. Look outside. It would be the perfect day for it." There's a squat but robust gentleman situated on the other side of a nobleman standing tall and lithe in his finery. An attendant standing nearby holds a leather cloak over his arm as he himself holds his own cloak tight around his collar, still dripping from the weather outside. He regards you as you enter, giving you a nod politely, while his lordship, the nobleman to his right, continues to berate the, you assume, tailor, who stands across with his hands piously together as such, nodding calmly, not so much frowning, but not smiling either. He says, "My apologies. I have done my best to keep up with the orders. However, there is so much work constantly here. I have," and he gestures behind himself, "so much that I am doing. You will be finished later today, I assure you. You know my policy. I do not do pickups until later in the day. It is not quite twilight yet. The rain, I understand, may play tricks on you. You thought it was later. Your lordship, I beg you understand. My policy is later today, your clock will be finished. You can see, it is on my table." The nobleman gives a sniff at this and says, "I would have expected it to be prepared in advance for such weather." And he turns around and he looks towards you as you look upon the visage of Scarlatisha, his lordship, standing lithe and long-nosed, his rosy cheeks and gaunt eyes staring down across ever so haughtily. He looks towards his attendant and says, "My cloak." He grabs a hold of it and kind of grimaces. Ugh, the rag that it is, and he flicks it about himself ever so elegantly. And as it just wraps him ever so perfectly, just draping down around him, this shimmering, whatever sort of, who knows, black onyx leather, beautiful cloak with this gold silver trim filigree at the edges that follows along in whatever sort of pattern, heraldic or just decorative, you're not sure. But as he stands there, and I mean, the thing must be worth who knows how much, and he begins to walk as his attendant does so as well, walking a little bit quicker to catch up to the door before his lordship and open it for.
Oh, nobility, am I right?
The tailor behind the counter doesn't really move so much as adjust position slightly and say, "How may I help you, sirs?"
I was wondering if I could get if you have any adventuring clothes ready.
What is it you are looking for?
A set of adventuring clothes and a cape for...
When you say this adventuring clothes, what do you mean?
I gesture down to what I'm wearing. Something like this.
Leathers?
Yes.
He gives a nod at this and says, I have leathers. He gestures towards some mannequins that you didn't quite see a moment ago, just sitting aside a curtain. It's not like hidden or anything, it's just kind of out of the way. But he gestures towards them, and you can see them draped in a couple bits of leather armors that that seem designed to overlap in ways the traditional armor doesn't. And he walks in towards it, and he gestures. You see what I did here is in the joints, in the arms. This all covers, so you don't get wet.
Oh. Okay.
It also
You have-
allows protection if somebody come in to stop, and you see him like take his scissors, and he like makes these quick gestures, and you're like, "Whoa, this guy can move."
Okay. Well, I guess I'll get a pair for myself then. If they're that good, they look great. I'll say, I'll take. I'll take two. Do I remember Roderick's size and stuff like that? For
He's a shorter
wearing?
dude. He's a shorter dude.
What is Roderick wearing right now? As,
He's wearing a tunic and vest over it, a leather vest over a simple cotton tunic, and he's wearing a pair of, I want to say, fine denim breeches.
okay, I'll take one set of the leathers, and then do you have a tape of some sort to hide you from the rain?
Ah, yeah. We got a covering. Poncho.
Okay, I'll take one of each then.
Right. He gives a nod at this. He says 12 gold.
Perfect. I ask him, this establishment is known throughout the lands, right? This isn't the only establishment in Dublin, right? It's a chain, sort of, if I'm correct.
There is more than just me. Yeah,
Do you
there are
know-
others.
Yeah, my friend mentioned, I came in on a friend's recommendation actually, and he was talking about a Taylor Samuel. I can't.
Ah, yeah, that's me.
Oh, you're Taylor Samuel? I will hand him the red sash that we found with his name. It's like,
He takes
I
it from
found-
you. Holding it in his hand for a moment, he produces a set of lenses from under his shirt, and he places them on his nose, and he adjusts slightly as he blinks. Yeah, it's good craftsmanship. I like the stitching. He rolls it over. Ha!
Is that your work?
He turns it over. No, it's not me. No. No, you see, I have a sword. This man's a needle. He just has a needle.
Do you know who would have made it?
He thinks about it a moment. Yeah. These come out of Suzelle years ago for a festival.
By who? Can I get the name again?
He gives a nod at this and focuses for a moment, trying to remember the name as I look it up. Oh, hello. This was Pasquale in Suzanne.
Sousa. Is Sousa at anywhere near Arabella 1? No.
No, it's at the southern end,
Okay. Well,
near by the water.
okay. would the leathers he made, the leather armor he's made, would that count as studded leather armor or no? What is it?
It doesn't even count as armor. It's actually coverings that go over strategic points on traditional leather armors.
What would that give? If I wore those, what would that give me at all? Would that
Defense against the
give me-
rain.
Oh,
Kind of
okay.
acts like ceilings. Like it
okay.
covers joints and whatnot.
Okay. Okay.
It can be worn
You have
without
any
armor.
bandages?
Like it's a full sleeve off the shoulder that drapes
Okay.
down across and whatnot.
Well,
So
do you have any? I don't know if you would. Do you have any studded leather armor at all on there? Is that something?
I have
I can do
I have a
that?
suit that I work on. Is not ready yet.
Well, I'm leaving in the morning. Would it be ready by then? No, no.
He kind of hems and haws for a moment. For 50 gold? For 50 gold? He screws up his face for a moment, thinking about it for a moment. He comes back for 60 gold.
55.
No, compadre. I cannot do it for less than 60.
Hmm. Can I see the suit at least? See if it is worth 60 gold?
He reaches under his counter, one of the nearby counters, and pulls out a stack of leathers and puts it on top of the counter, and then a moment later pulls out a suit that jangles as he puts it down. You can see it's got a couple straps loose and the sides undone. So like where it's a tunic that goes over, this whole side's undone and it's missing the straps. He pulls out the straps and puts them up top as well. He says, so the straps here have to get stitched in, and I have to stitch together this portion here. And he reaches underneath and you hear him clatter some metal and he pours out a bunch of studs. And I got to mount all the studs down the seams.
Okay. And this would kind of studded leather armor, yeah?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
He actually pulls out a coif. But you see here it comes with the helmet. And I got the gaiters. And he pulls out your shin guards and your greaves.
I don't need the helmet, but it's can't cover up the smug. But I'll take it. 60 gold seems fine.
Okay, come back tomorrow. If I get it finished, you can pay me then.
I'll give him. I'll give you half in advance, and you make sure it's finished in the morning by 9 a.m.
He gives a nod at this, accepting the coin.
Okay. And then I grab all the stuff for Rockrick, and I head to the Blushing. We're heading to the Blushing Meaning, right? That's where we're gonna sleep tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
That sounds good.
Okay. And I head back to the inn.
Okay. Anybody else doing anything?
I wanted to go to the blacksmith and see if I could find
A nice axe.
great axe or a great
So as I was
sword.
saying, as you are heading through the township, making your way upon, coming to the blacksmith, you find that he is obviously shut down for the rain. His hut nearby has a light on.
Okay. Is that the storefront that I went to last time? Or,
It is.
It is. Okay.
It's just
I'll go ahead
shut,
and knock.
like where it was kind of because he had his stand outside before, and he was just working outside it.
Okay. I'll go knock on the door and wait for a response.
After a brief moment, the door parts open, and the fellow peers out into the rain, looking up at you. How can I help you?
Good afternoon. I was coming by to see if you were open for business today.
He gives a nod. Perhaps, if there's something I can help you with immediate.
Yeah, I'm looking for.
Here, come in, man. Duck your head. It's raining out there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of you.
Yeah, they can.
Oh,
go.
do you, are you sure? All right, we'll make it quick.
No, bring him in. So what I'm looking for a great sword or a great axe to replace the one that I have currently.
I see.
Something that's.
I happen to have this large unit in storage here, as luck would have it. You see him walk around the corner from the front door, and he's just got a pile of bric-a-brac. There's just all sorts of metal, shields, swords, axes, bunch of daggers, you name it. Blades, hilts, guards, etc. Just littered. And as he steps carefully across them, he grabs a hold of one large handle and slowly pulls out a large, never-ending blade of a sword that seems to lack a guard on one side. And you can see it's still got a blood stain down the handle where somebody obviously had the guard broke through, catching somebody else's steel and cleaved through the poor fucker's hand. And as he pulls it out and holds it aloft, he says, "As you can see, there was a slight bit of an accident there, huh?" He kind of tosses it unceremoniously down on the pile. It clatters noisily, just like a bunch of cymbals getting smashed at the same time as he drops it down on top of a bunch of shields and shit on the ground. And he says, "Right there. She's a fine, massive unit. But unfortunately, she needs a new guard mounted."
And is the do you think that the blade is better than mine that I have on my back right now?
He looks up towards your
my
axe, and he says, "To be sure, the weight will be different, and you'll have different swings. It's a matter of taste, I should think. The damage won't be too much different. It's still a big fuck-off knife, after all."
Right, yeah. Yeah, I was looking for something with a finer edge.
Well, I can get the edge quite fine, I assure you of that.
Maybe, do you think you could get the edge better on my axe?
He looks at it for a moment. More than likely.
Okay. With the dredge outside, do you think you could maybe get this done by tomorrow?
He looks you up and down and says, "I'll have to charge you for a rush."
I understand that.
"2 crowns will do you then, sir. 2 gold bits."
Okay, yeah. I'll hand him the 2 gold and say we're leaving by 9 tomorrow. So if you could get that done, I would appreciate it.
He gives a nod at this. "Right. I'll set the rooftop and stoke the fire then."
Thank you. Is there anything else that you gents want? No, I'm talking to my party.
I'm not there. I don't think.
I don't know if I was there either. I don't know if I'm getting vegetables or not.
Okay. And I'll leave and then I'll head to the tavern. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Meanwhile, Aldous comes towards the village square where he finds most of the shopkeepers are shut down and fucked off. You can see a couple wagons that sit covered and locked, padlocked. But there is a pair of stalwart old men situated with their wagons and coverings aside their wagons, keeping themselves as dry as they can with cloaks wrapped around themselves. They're bickering.
I'll sort of run up and just kind of interrupt them and just say, "Hey, do you guys have any dried fruits or any sort of vegetables?"
Dried? We've got nothing fucking dry, man. Look at the weather around you. This one's an interesting fella. What do you want then, pointy ear? You're looking for a couple of the vegetables, the old man says.
Yeah, mostly looking for like fruits or like some sort of stocked vegetables, potatoes.
If you're looking for a fruit,
Broccoli.
you're looking no further than my man Monty here. Isn't that the truth then, you poop there? The other fellow looks at him and grimaces at this and says, "Right, I can help you." And he gestures towards his wagon. He's got a pretty decent plethora of stuff. It's done. Eggplant.
Yeah, I'll get like, you know, I don't want to get too much, but I want to get like 2 or 3 of probably 2 or 3 different things.
Yeah.
And then while in conversation with him, I'll ask him if he knows of any good tea houses or where I can get tea from.
He gives a nod and he says, "The apothecary's got a couple bits that he brings in from down southerly. I myself happen to have a bit of a surplus if you're looking for something immediate. There's such a simple black tea for Mom."
I'll purchase some of what he's got, but then I'll just take off to the apothecary after that.
Yep.
So how much? Yeah.
What's his silver? Actually, you know what?
Between all the fruit and vegetables and black tea.
So it's 6 silver altogether.
All right. And then I'll head down to wherever he points into the apothecary.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've been there before.
Is it the witch lady's house? That's
The hospitality?
No.
No, there was like a lady on the edge.
That's right.
Witch doctor.
That's
door.
I had her name too.
I do too. It is. I'll go all the way back.
The medicine man woman. I think it's a dwarf, right?
Yeah, it's a dwarf lady. Ishmael Barkhatter. Ishmael Barkhatter or something like that? That's what it is. That's what I have.
Man, there's so many names in here. It's so funny. Yeah, Ashamal Breakadder. So, as it were, you head out towards the outskirts of town. Coming to the outer ring of it, you happen upon the hut as the rains continue unabated. More or less soaked all over. Your horse chuffs as you come in towards the hut. Parking alongside it, you dismount and approach the door. A light flickers in the window as you knock upon the door. And a moment later, a voice from inside says something that you don't quite hear.
I'll come in.
The door swings aside as you step inside the chamber. The rotund interior of this space that makes up her home has a cauldron bubbling in the center as she sprinkles something over top it, and she says, "Come in, come in."
Sorry to bother you, Ashamel.
Not a bother, not a bother.
I was just looking for some herbs to make some tea.
As luck would have it, I'm preparing some.
Would you mind if I stayed and enjoyed some with you?
She unceremoniously boots a stool towards you.
And I will graciously accept it and have a seat.
Situating yourself down next to her, she continues to add ingredients, asking what you're after. You tell her that you're looking for some tea. She offers you a choice. You have some stuff from down south. She has some stuff from out east. Overseas, she says. Very expensive. And some regular old stuff from just around.
Let me get some of the stuff from overseas and some of the stuff from down south.
She gives a nod at this, and she says to be 2 gold for a few grams of the Karaturian spice, and it'll be a mere 3 silver for the Kalashite oolong.
And what was the first one called?
Karaturian spice. So what do you called it? She called it, sorry.
Alright, yep. Alrighty. and I'll go ahead and put that stuff away and just enjoy some tea with her. Thanks, lady. Thanks, extra mom.
You gain an extra. Excuse me. As you imbibe upon the spicy tea, she begins telling you about how she feels it opens up the internal tracts, allows the bloodstream to carry more of everything that the body needs. Just a most powerful stuff. She waxes lackadaisical about it for a couple minutes, explaining how it infuses the bloodstream and causes a positive calming effect as you take an extra level 1 slot for the day.
Okay. This is some fine tea. I guess I'll thank her and go back, head out into the rain, and head to the Blushing Maiden.
That happens. You make your way out through the city street, passing by the various buildings through the rains as your horse makes its way, soaking wet with the thunder cracking overhead. You come upon the Blushing Maiden structure once again, its silhouette fading in out of the rain, sheeting around it. Before long, the lot of you regroup, preparing to disembark once again. Or no, you guys are hunkering down. What am I saying?
Yeah, we're staying the night. So 2 gold for the night, right? Yeah, for
Yeah.
this tavern.
Is that for each of us, or are you covering all of us?
I think it's 2 gold per person, right? Yeah.
It is, as a matter of fact. This place is luxurious.
Yeah. Can I go to my room? I'll take a couple minutes by myself. I'll count how much money was in the sack from Aramis's house.
Yep. It was 500 platinum. 500 gold. 500 platinum.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Right. I will. Everybody will get 100. I'll divvy out 100 gold per person. So I'll do that. Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm greedy, but I'm not. I like you guys, so I'll do that, and then I will take a minute to check over the paper. I'll ask everybody to meet in my room after they get settled. And then I will start checking over the paper ahead of time before we meet.
Okay.
What does it say?
As you look over the parchment, sup, toys? As you look over the parchment, glad to see I'm streaming the mixer, okay. Thing that says it couldn't. Right. The writ doesn't say much other than what you already know. Which is to say that there will be a caravan on such a date. The caravan will be armed with 12 guards. It will be coated in steel. It will have 6 horses per cart, and there will be 3 carts. You are to A, see to the decimation of the caravan. B, the retrieval of the contents of the second wagon. Delivery of the wagon is to be to Deadlook, or, barring that, directly to Arabelle. Should you need a contact will find you. You must arrive no later than, and the date provided is a day from today.
So It's still there? Is that what I'm assuming? Or
It might be.
it'll be there. Does it give a time at all of where it?
No.
Where it might,
It doesn't give a time, but it does give a. Sorry. I'm looking up a name here. Boneheaded. Look at me. Unfortunately, I don't have the list. Okay. In that case, we can take it to. Instead, actually, it says if you require a contact, seek a contact at the Lonesome Tankard. No, sorry. Seek a at the. Oh, god damn it! Seriously, did I not? I did all the research, but didn't make the right notes. Go figure me.
Music's starting to overpower your voice a little.
There we go. Seek went out at the Bent Bow.
the what?
The Bent Bow.
Okay. With my background, can I see if there's any secret messages or anything like that at all?
I mean, you can look it over with an investigation roll.
Okay. It's gonna be it's gonna be crappy. It's only a 12.
You check both sides of the parchment. It's pretty plain. There's there doesn't seem to be any hidden messages or anything like that. The emblazoned sigil at the bottom is as much a sigil as, or is as much a wax seal as anything could be. You pick at it idly, thinking maybe something, but nothing seems to be special about the parchment aside from its origins and its orders.
Okay. So when everybody comes into my room, I let them know what I found. I'll give them the share of the coin from there in his hut or his home and say, so the money might be in Arabelle still. It gets retrieved tomorrow, right, DM?
That's what the note says.
So it might be there still. So how long?
Say what time?
It does not. But so it takes what? How long?
We could probably make that. It takes like probably 10 hours to get there.
Yeah, because we have to get to Evening Star and then we have to get to Arabelle. So it's only what? Right now it's probably like after all the shopping, it's like 5 o'clock right now.
Yeah, it's getting twilightish.
So they're gonna probably just miss it, or we head off in the morning and then just book it to Arabelle as fast as we can. That's the only we can. I say,
But what time tomorrow too matters.
can we ask
We
your
leave
painting?
now.
Can we pay?
We
Can
take
you ask
Arabelle 4 hours.
all this? Can we
Five.
ask your painting? Hey, what time is the platinum getting picked up? Do you think it'll tell us?
I'm sure he will, but it'll be very cryptic.
Do we do we waste it on that, or do we waste it? One of your questions on that? You got what? 6 more? 7 more? 6 more?
I guess.
So do we want to? What do you guys want to do then? We're not gonna make it if we stay here and then.
We're not. I don't think we're gonna make it. So I feel like it's kind of a waste of a question for us.
All this. Do you have Longstrider? We could get a bit of a benefit if we cast it on
horses?
I don't think so. I think I have enlarged reduce.
I'm just worried about leaving tonight and one of our horses breaking their legs.
Yeah, so we're
And
missing.
then we're
You can try to get contact with them.
Well, even if that's what I'm saying. Even if we leave tonight, we get at what's that other store? Evening Star at 10 o'clock to 10 o'clock tonight.
Let me sleep. We have to
We
sleep.
can sleep there and then wake up early in the morning. But then that's still another 4-hour ride to, probably more than that. I'm guessing 4 or 5
Yeah.
hour ride to Arabelle.
So we're gonna miss it by like a day or two. That's the thing.
Yeah, we're gonna even if we. Well, I mean, we could probably show up, but we'll show up like after the money is already being exchanged, and then we'll have to find out where it got exchanged to next.
Well, we have a contact point. We have the bent bow.
In Arabelle?
I don't know if it seems like that might be the tab. Let me check my notes.
You can throw history as
I'm
well.
sure a cart like that will attract attention. And I can also track pretty well.
Can I please
I
have a
feel like
vanilla
either
bar?
way,
Yeah, of course.
we transfer money.
Yeah, I feel like we are too, and I feel like we're probably gonna show up like
Do you want to take the rest of
if
them
we
upstairs?
rush there,
Just
we're
take
gonna
them
show
all
up
Which
right
ones
after it
are
happens.
which ones are
Yeah.
vanilla?
Which I mean,
I
it
mean the
doesn't
ones I like.
matter.
I don't know, Boomy.
I can't wait.
Well, yeah.
Which ones are
Yeah, doesn't matter. So we're just gonna miss it. That's all. We just take the L. We take the loss too. We take an L. So it's just timing. Our timing is off. But
Yeah,
We can-
if we would have left like today earlier.
yeah, we didn't go shopping. But
Yeah, basically.
yeah, if I checked it earlier and checked the note earlier and saw that, we could have made it. But it is what it is.
I got the same thing in my room. You guys want some?
So I guess we go. So our plan is go to the when we get to Arabelle, we go to the bent bow and try to make contact with them and try to say we want to work for them. Is that what we're trying to do? Or
Or I can even see if there are some tracks from a wagon. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of them, but with something with what was it, 10,000 platinum,
well-
I'm sure it's going to leave a heavy mark.
can we ask Rothrick do we know what can we ask Rothrick where his money, what the wagon looked like? That he put his money in.
He looks at you.
We were transferring the money.
Oh, it might be. I don't know.
No. I was thinking, what if we were helping transfer the money when we were helping the 2 guys?
It's
Because we were giving them a ride to Arabelle, right? Or we were protecting
No,
them.
but they bought and
Yeah.
they're not part of this at all.
And plus, the wagons were checked thoroughly
Yeah,
by the roving.
yeah, they're not part of this at all.
Resident.
But we don't know how they're transferring the wagon. 10,000 platinum is a lot of money to transfer. I think they would probably keep it in the wagon, but they might disguise the wagon as something else. That's what I would do. Personally. Because it seems like transferring 10,000 platinum from one thing to another thing seems a little tedious to me.
They're going to be moving slow, so I'm sure if we catch on their trail, we'll be able to catch up.
Yeah, we just gotta go to the bent bow. I did not break down.
Do we know who it's
No,
going to?
so no, the bent bow, the Nine Fires Inn is where the bandits found the notice to kill Rothrick. So the bent bow is a separate entity. So it's either we go to one of those 2 places. So because that's what I wrote in my notes. I knew because the bent bow didn't sound familiar at all. The Nine Fires Inn. The Nine Fires Inn is where the bandits found the notice for Rothrick to kill him, but the bent bow is where we can make contact with them. So I guess the bent bow is if we want to directly contact them and do this head on, or we go to the 9-5 in to be more sleuthy. I can try to see if I can find more information. I can try to see if I can find more information about this. I have a contact that could tell us about this this more about the Iron Throne. If you guys want me to make contact with them.
I mean, more information is better, for sure.
Okay. DM, tonight I'm gonna use my background feature. I'm gonna contact my criminal contact and ask them if they can find me more information on these Iron Throne people.
Throw me an investigation.
Ooh, finally, it's a 20.
Nah.
No, it's a regular. It's a dirty 20.
Fair enough. Yeah. Throw more than one. All right. So, what did you want to know specifically here?
If I could find about like the goings on of the Iron Throne within Erebel, if there's if they have like, is that where their headquarters is, or is it just the
All right. You have no problem getting in touch with some folks in the know, as it were. Settling in with them at a table at the Blushing Maiden. As luck would have it, they come sauntering through. They answer frankly, stating that they've heard rumor of some shop having set up in Erebol, directly concerned with some sort of war effort. Although they don't know what sort of war these guys would be funding or fighting, but they're known as some heavy duty weapons merchants around the whole of Cormyr and outside it as well. Excuse me. But they've heard that there is some doings, but they don't know any specifics about the business or any motivations other than they seem to be stockpiling some or routing. Maybe they're not quite sure. If they are stockpiling, they say, then there's no sign of it anywhere around. Anything that gets bought gets shunted off, so far as we can say. To where, we don't know. No one's managed to follow along. Most just disappear if they do try to.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'll keep in contact. And I will let my party know about this. And say, something's going on there, boss, so that's what we'll go heading off to then. Tomorrow morning.
Sounds good.
Let's just take this, let's sleep it off right now and then let's head off really early in the morning today, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. We long rest.
Sounds good. Having paid for the rooms, you settle in, letting the pattering of the rain on the rooftop act as the background to your slumber. Sleep comes easily, cradling you in its embrace. Slumber is thick. You dream heavily. Of what? It's up to you. Morning comes. The heavy moisture in the air thick in your room, almost suffocating. As you hear the pattering outside, the rain unabated, having not let up in the slightest. You hear shouting outside. You hear the clamor of crowds. As you rouse and peer out your windows, respectively, each you see crowds of peoples preparing on wagons, getting ready to go places. By the wagonful, tens of them, men mostly, piled up. After a brief moment, the lot of them start to cart out one after the next. You watch as amidst the rain they wagon away, rolling steadily towards somewhere. You don't see any soldiers around. Oh no, there's some. On horseback, escorting them. Nobody's in restraints. They disappear against the sheets of rain.
Can I go to the barman of the Blushing Maiden and be like, and grab like a light breakfast, but then I'll be like, what's all the ruckus going on outside?
As you head down towards the bar, your companion slowly trickling in aside you, the barman brings out some grits after a brief moment, answering your questions along, saying, "The rain hasn't stopped. The rivers are flowing. They're heading up to put down sandbags and build fords. Try to reap the water away, otherwise it may come in through and flood the outskirts of town."
It's troubling news for the farmers.
Never mind the farmers. It's the rich folk that have to worry. The farmers have no issue. They're farther afield, a bit away from the river, as a matter of fact. The rain's doing them well, as can be, you might say. Were the rivers to flood their fields, certainly it'd be an issue, I assume. But I'm not a farmer per se. My father was.
Well,
I'll cut a couple pieces of some of my fruit and eat it with my grits.
I'll say, well, hopefully
Yeah.
the rain lets up.
Alright,
So-
I suppose I should go pick up my great axe.
Yeah,
I'll meet you all here.
I'll go pick up my studded leather armor. I will also hand off to Rothric the cape and the leather blockings for the rain, and say, "You owe me 12 gold for that." And
He gives a nod, then he starts to put the bits on. And with that,
I would like to head to the blacksmith to pick up my great axe.
as you arrive upon, you see the bit of smolder coming off from the fire as the rain pounds down on the rooftop that's been set up over the workspace. As he sits there scrubbing away on the unit, you can see the blade shining under the top. Under the rooftop, despite the lack of sunlight. As you come closer still, your breath is slightly taken away at the blue chrome finish of the edge upon the axe. And as you look upon the haft, you note that some of the portions have been drilled out. There's now holes along the haft of your axe. And he says, "I lightened it up some. And you can see here it's been sharpened to a fine edge.
This
So
is fine work.
she should serve you well, I think." And he gives one of these, and down the edge kind of rings as he does this, and he steps back. "Right? Nothing to it."
And here's some extra gold for your efforts and how beautiful it looks. And I hand him another 3.
He gives a nod, taking the gold and pocketing it into his apron. "I've lightened it in the haft, and the edge is razor sharp, so you should have no issues with it. As you pick it up, it certainly is much lighter to swing about. Basically, you have a +1 non-magical axe.
Awesome. Fine work, and if I ever come back this way, I'll make sure to visit you again.
see that you do.
And I'll head back to the tavern.
Yeah, DM, I'll go pick up my studded leather armor as well.
Arriving upon the tailor's, he peers up from the countertop. He says, "Oh, hello there. How are you?
I'm fine.
Yours is not ready yet. It's twilight. It'll be ready. I have a policy."
God damn it. Okay, then screw it. Can I have my gold back then?
Well, no, I'm getting your equipment ready here. As you can see, it'll be ready later today, sir.
I said it would be ready by morning.
Ah,
How's that
yes.
deal?
However, I have a policy, sir.
Can I check if the armor is ready? Or-
You can see he is working on it. You can see the straps are mounted, and the side of it is mostly stitched up.
You're almost done. Can I add more to the fee to get it ready now?
He gives a shake of his head and he says, "Sir, I assure you, I'm working on this as fast as I can."
Dude, I say I will cast suggestion on him.
Do it.
And I'll say, you will have my armor ready in 10 minutes.
Yeah. He gives a nod at this and says, "Yes, of course, sir. I'll have it ready for you right away." He blinks a couple times over as his brain goes to work. He turns around and he pushes a few things to the side, and he takes a large he reaches into a nearby drawer actually of random bric-a-brac, and he sifts about for a moment, and he pulls out a long nail, and he fucking hammers the nail through the corner, the shoulder portion of the unit, and it goes to the first layer. He then brings over the shoulder strap and he reinforces through that. No, that wouldn't even make sense actually. He just nails through the one part, then he bends the nail over. and he stands back and he says, "Perfect." He looks at the studs for a moment. He says, "Yep, no time for that." As good as it is. It's wearable.
Okay. Does it function as studded leather armor right now or no?
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say if a creature hits you with a nat 20, there's a chance it's gonna break.
I'll say good enough, and I'll say I'll take those studs with me though, and
They're yours, sir. You've paid for them.
I'll get I'll get it fixed up in Aerodol or Evening Star or something like that. But if it breaks, it breaks. I still have another set, but I haven't. I will grab it and then I'll leave.
Right on.
I give him the rest. I'll give the rest of the payment and then leave.
Okay, cool.
Well, I just can't believe I wasted a freaking second level spell slot for this month. Okay, and then I'll meet up with the party and be like, are you ready?
I am, yes.
I want to mention as you're walking along, the nail in the corner is slightly chafing.
Well, it is what it is.
Thunder cracks as you guys make your way.
Or something somewhere.
Well, I look to Resman and say, with your time, can you fix this at all? Do you have the skills?
Don't you have mending?
No, I do not have mending.
No? Okay.
Okay. I'll say, let's go.
I take a piece of leather and I stick it in underneath so it won't chafe. Thank you.
Cool. I won't even ask for a roll. You do that expertly, jerry rigging it. Actually, this is medieval times. It's Jericho rigging it.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
We're tight on time. I'll get it fixed now, though. We're probably going to be there for a bit. Are we riding straight to Arendelle today? Is that the plan, folks?
I believe so, yes.
How is is it pouring rain still?
It is.
Or is it? Okay. I'll lead the charge, but I don't know if we're gonna get.
Can I do a nature check to see if this is like natural or magically induced or something?
I'll say, you know what? I'm even gonna say that out of frustration, you did that already this morning. You're like, is this real? Yeah, it's fucking real.
Well, let's ride, and we'll see. We'll get to Evening Star within a couple hours. So
Sub Wilder.
We'll see where we are there.
Alright. Roderick, are you ready?
Roderick gets himself cloaked, dressed, with his gaiters over his arms and legs. He gives a satisfied nod, and you can see that he's acquired himself a big floppy hat.
Alright, then let us depart.
He gives a nod at this and says, "Let's." And you guys head out onto the road.
I'll keep an eye out to make sure that we don't get to make sure that our horses don't trip or anything like that, or any obstacles get in our way while we ride.
You're gonna ride carefully.
We can't. I say,
It's the bitch of it, eh?
yeah, it's a bitch of it. I'll say, if we're not gonna be able to. If I do percentage check, it'd probably be with disadvantage. Is that what? If we do full sprint?
It'd be dangerous to do a full sprint in this weather. Just period.
Huh?
Not even for obstacles, but for the muddy roads. Your horse may wipe out, or who's to say?
Okay, I say. I can't control the weather, Victor. So we have to go at a slower pace. We can't go full sprint.
That's fine with me. I'm worried about the horses mainly.
Okay, so yeah, we'll do would medium pace be bad too, or?
No, I mean a nice ambling. I mean a medium, a canter. You're all right. You can see clearly enough through the rain for a canter. It's just that if you're going full tilt, the rain's just stinging your eyes. You don't have riding goggles or anything.
Yeah, canter. So do I need to make a perception check to make sure we don't?
It's fine. You guys hit the road. Traveling along, it takes you northerly. Aside the rain pounding down around you, you can hear the rush of a river echoing in the distance, echoing ever so far away. It fades after a little while, leaving just the rain pounding still. After what seems hours trudging and trekking, your horses chuffing in the moisture thick and awash all about, for a brief spell, the clouds seem to part, growing thick and then slowly allowing a bit of sunlight to pierce down upon you. Roderick gives out a slow sigh as he realizes sunlight beats down upon him, and he loosens his leathers as thunder claps in the distance. The rain's unabated somewhere far off, but having receded from where you've retreated to. As you continue northerly, the sun continues to stream down, but up ahead you see the gray start anew. Amidst a bunch of buildings that you can see ever so far away at the far end of this road, stretching, twisting amidst the trees. You can see the first of the farming village begin to dot the horizon as the road slopes downwards towards evening star in the distance.
How long did it take us to get to?
You've been on the road for approximately 2.5 hours. But as you come in, slowly trudging towards the town, the weather starts to turn again as the clouds thickly grow around. And with a bit of sunlight still permitted, the rains start fresh upon.
Oh, damn it.
Your dry stature soon wet again as you enter into the din of the rain once more. The first few farmhouses of Evening Star come up towards you as you trot along. Now nearly 4 hours on the trek, the town... Pardon me. The town spreads about in both directions, with the river that you can see up ahead presenting itself. Oh, sorry, no, you're coming in from the high road? No, you're coming in from that road, yeah. The river that you could hear stretching out from the forest on the left and crossing the road, where you see a bunch of bridges, a pair of bridges extending across the river.
Do we notice anybody on the path or anything like that?
You can see up ahead a single soldier standing aside the roadway with a spear in hand. He stands resolute and full of authority despite the storm all around him. He looks towards you, and you can see him raise a hand to get a better sight upon what's coming. And as you're coming towards, you can see him make a few motions to the effect of popping his spear into the mud such that it stands on its own, and then making a gesture to pull a crossbow forward. He doesn't pull it up so much as he leans it such that it's at a 45, and then pops a bolt into the trough. He pulls it back slowly with a hook that he then puts back on his belt, and he just keeps it there idly to the side as you approach.
Good afternoon, sir.
That it is, save the liquid sunshine. Welcome to Evening Star. We're a quiet town, and you don't look like quiet folk.
We are just making our way through the town, which actually heading to Arabelle, but with this weather, we don't know if we might have to stop here for the night.
Well, we're not savages, and you're not unwelcome. He gives a closer look. You're hunters.
We are?
Very good. You can find yourself some lodging within the town's walls, or lack therein, I should say. My apologies. You should find yourself some lodging within the town's confines. I would suggest a few different establishments, really. There's quite a number of them.
Would we be able to make it to Arabelle within the next full twilight, nightfall, if we were not to stop here?
He looks at you and looks up towards the sky. Doubtful. You can push it. How's your horses doing then? They look like they're worn. The one chuffs. I'm not sure whose it would be. Probably Victor's actually chuffs, seeming to understand the man.
I look to the party. So, I guess we're stopping for the day here?
What if we exchanged horses? No, we're
Do you have any horses that we could exchange for fresh ones at all? Yeah.
The stableman at the west gate would be able to help you with that.
Okay.
You could ask.
See, Are we allowed to pass through, sir?
Of course. Just a word to the wise. If you are headed out upon the high road through the west gate, do keep your wits about you. There's been sightings of some spirits and reports of attacks.
Okay, that's unusual. High road, spirits, attacks. Okay. We head to the stableman.
Okay. As you come in towards the west gate, you can in fact see in the distance the glowing of apparitions floating about. Coming to the west gate, you see a building to the one side, and there's a sign situated that says "Keeping the Pace." It's in the shape of a horse, roughly cut out and stylized in the wood. Placard that it is. You can hear horses whinnying in the stable nearby as you clop forth, and you can see a light flickering inside the small office.
I hitch my horse and I knock on the door.
Enter.
Hello. My name's Tomas. I was wondering if you had any horses that we could exchange. We're in a kind of a rush to Arabelle, and our horses are looking kind of exhausted, so we were hoping that we could exchange them for some other ones obviously half for like a small fee.
If it's a trade you're after, I'll have a look at your horses. A rotund, tall elf walks out wearing a set of leathers, chaps, vest, the whole kit. A pair of daggers at the one side and a pair of ropes on the other side of a thick belt dangle and clatter as the elf makes his way around around a bunch of a stack of gear in the center of the chamber. Actually, there's a bunch of horseshoes and there's an old anvil, a bunch of hammers, some of them broken. There's a stack of saddles to the one side in various states of repair. Next to another stack of saddles that seem to be more or less fine. A stack of saddle blankets folded up next to that. Bunch of bits and bridles hung up on the wall across from all that. And finally, a shelf at the back that seems to have a bunch of parchments, foodstuffs, jars of who knows what. There's a couple burlap sacks of different things. You're not sure, but they're stacked up haphazardly next to the door as you enter in. Anyhow, the fellow makes his way winding through this little space and giving you the nod, gives a beckon towards you guys with your horses. Bring them into the stable. Calm them down some. Allow them to have a fresh drink. Perhaps some grains. Isn't that right? And he takes the one by the snout, who's ever, maybe Victor's, and gives it a nuzzle and a rub on the tip. Leading the horse into the stable, he looks them over. Aye, they've had a bit of road wear. And he picks up one of the hooves. Oh, it's okay. Calm. Shh. And he lifts up the hoof and he looks it over. Right, needs a reshoeing. Well, all told, if you're looking for a straight trade, I'd take 20 gold a piece on top of the horse. That's for a reshoeing of a new horse. Gets you a saddle, blanket, and that. He looks at your old saddles. Unless you don't need the new saddles. 10 gold apiece, then.
And your horses are ready to go, the ones that we are receiving.
He gestures towards his horses, which you can see he's got about a dozen of them all lined up. They're all in good spirits, decent shape. You're not a horse expert by any stretch, but they certainly seem to have more life in them than the ones you've brought in.
At a canter, do you think we could make it to Airville in time before night comes today?
They've got enough virility in them. I should think you might be able to make it there by nightfall. If you're a decent enough rider, no ill fate should befall you.
These spirits that we've heard about on the high road, do you know anything about them? Do you have any...
Oh, aye. He makes his way over towards the edge of the stable and looks out. There's one now. Frightful things. They show up when the lights dim, late in the day, midnight-ish, and early morning. He'll be gone soon enough. I say he, but it could just well be a she.
Have they attacked at all?
They have. The unsightly scratches they left on a poor fellow who made his way past the blighters just the other day. Young fella left scratches all down his face and neck. Poor folk. There's festering something fierce, but the Ashamale in Deadlock, she apparently addressed him right fair and quick. So I heard, anyhow.
Is there a way to keep them away, or it just run?
Wish I'd known where they came from. As I say, they only show up at certain times of the day and night. Twilight. Times like tonight. Times like now where it's raining and dim. They hang around through the whole of it.
Do you not have a cleric or a temple in town to keep them at bay?
Aye. They come out, they've done the service. We've paid the price, in fact. Magistrate saw fit to sponsor a round of it. Clergy came about, had a turning, made a big fuss, blighted the gods. Quite the sight. Was here the next day. It's the oddest thing. Seems attached to the position.
So they haven't been banished.
They have been several times, man, this is what I tell you. However, it comes back.
Yeah, the weather doesn't help, so...
No, it is true. So for the time being, the West Road must be given birth. Wide berth, if one's to tread down that way.
So we'd have to, if we don't want to be attacked, then we would have to wait until morning. Would be the best time to go.
Ideally, any time that there's a bit of sunlight.
I look, they say Desmond Victor Eldest. What's this coin? It's a coin flip. If we want to get to Arbel tonight, then we have to go through there.
We have to go to the west road to get to.
Yeah.
And you said that the spirit stays in that one spot, correct?
There are multiple spirits, aren't there? Or is it just in one?
There seems to be multiple spirits that will appear. I've only ever noticed the one myself. I don't pay too much mind to it. Or try not to. It's hard not to. But it's typically only the one that appears.
We could just try to give it a wide berth and make our way.
Okay.
If you're fast, you can outrun it easily enough.
Yeah. Well, we can. I don't know how to stealth on a horse, but we can try if we want to get. We're wasting time right now, so I say I'm fine with whatever you guys choose. So decide.
We don't know when this rain is going to end, so
Okay.
it's
Full
probably
call.
going to be dark tomorrow anyways.
10 gold, friends.
And go.
That's a platinum apiece.
Okay. And I say
It costs 10 gold to stay the night here?
no, 10 gold to get our horse.
To get,
Oh.
Yeah, new horses.
To switch out horses.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're basically getting U-Hauls, right?
Yeah.
We're renting a U-Haul.
Well, getting okay. Grab my horse, make friends with it. Say, hopefully you don't die on this trip.
It says, hopefully you don't die.
Yeah. And I say, I'll try to keep. Can I watch the path and see? Is there a pattern at all? Like as we approach it, is there a pattern to these spirits? Like, do they make like rounds, or is it just? Is it?
It seems to move in a circle, and then a figure eight, and then a smaller circle, and then a smaller figure eight, and then it stands in the center of where it was circling.
Searching for something.
And when I say standing, it just kind of floats there. Then
so
it slowly makes its way, meandering in a spiral,
there on the sidewalk.
out to where it makes another circle. Then it does a figure eight again, and then it does a smaller circle, and then it does a smaller figure eight, and stops in the
Probably has
center
an inner
again.
ear problem.
Yeah. Well,
And
I
then
don't got any magic. I have a couple things. I don't have anything that keeps away undead. So let's go. I'll keep. How would we? Would we just roll? It's a straight D20 for stealth for on a horse. I don't know how we stealth on a horse. Like,
Yeah,
I wanna-
so if you have riding, I'll let you make a stealth check. But you have
Running
to,
different than animal handling.
yeah, animal handling. But, or proficiency. You can have proficiency in land animal, eh?
I'm about that.
So my point being, sorry, gapping for a moment here. You have to break eyesight from the thing to stealth away from it. And you're in an open roadway.
I think if we just keep a wide berth, it seems like it's possibly stuck in that area.
So can we travel? Do you want to travel into the woods? Like get off the road and try to travel through that. Try to travel as.
The woods are pretty far, and then we would also have to cross the river if we did that.
No, where the hell are we? We're in Enistar. There's like, I need to like travel like off the road, like just like
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Off the road and just go around it.
yeah. We'll try to do that. That's the best. We're trying to keep a wide berth, so I don't know how you want us to roll DM.
No, that's fine. If you're just avoiding it, that's fine. There's no special rule. The camera's gonna pan high and show the massive open roadway. As you guys are steering around it, having left the stableman's place, Elwood gives you guys a wave. That was the stableman, by the way. Hi, I'm Elwood, by the way. He gives a wave as you guys trot back out into the rain, having left your worn-out horses behind and fresh horses between your legs. You canter past and around the spirit as it spins around in its concentric circles, slowly meandering out in its spiral, heading towards the start or restart of its patternous movements, or patterned movements. Before long, you're back on the road altogether, cresting over a slight hill, twisting over a slight turn. The forest pathway consumes you as the river echoes away ahead of you and comes into view ahead of you, underneath you. Let me get this map up. Yeah, there it is. Right. Having left what was known as Callanter's Way behind you, crossing the Sword River and coming upon the... having left the Starwater Road, my bad, and crossing the Starwater River, Along the high road, the bridge that you come to is a large stone, magnificent structure. No, I'm kidding. It was once anyhow. Nowadays, it's kind of worn down, bits of it falling apart. What once was a set of scout towers is now one scout tower over there, and several broken scout towers all around. With that in mind, as you approach upon the rain, unrelenting as it is, continues to soak upon you. Nice.
Do we see other spirits at all?
Yeah, so you actually don't see any other ghostly apparitions or anything like that as you're traveling along. You do see several tracks all over the place. I don't know how that hard skeleton's happening. I have honestly no idea how that's occurring. But what was I saying is, as you're traveling along through the rains here, the hours pass by painfully, with Roderick complaining unrelentingly for the last however long. In a never-ending barrage of yammerings concerning the weather, his discomfort, his butt sores, and how wet he is from head to toe. He is repetitive as he is shrill.
Roderick, what did you expect?
He gives a guffaw and responds with, "I would have expected a covered wagon. I would have expected all sorts of..." As he looks towards ahead of you, he sits agape as your horses whinny some, coming to a full stop instinctually, as you see a pair of bears lumber out from some brush along the sloping roadway. As they cross your path, their massive brown furred structure with a humped back ripples muscularly as the one lifts up and gives a loud roar out.
Do they look alive, or do they look like regular bears, or do they look like it's unnatural?
They look like regular angry grizzly bears.
And they're coming straight for us. I'm assuming.
The one drops down and begins to charge.
I'll
Roll initiative.
Oh god.
I love that every session has to have combat. That's awesome.
If for no other reason than to have it. In this case, it's partially the reason.
18 plus 4. 22.
It's And so, Mr. Resvin is 18 plus 2 for 20, did you say?
Nope. 18 plus 4.
Ah,
So
for 22. And Victor.
15 plus 2 for 17.
17 for Victor. And Tomas.
Just a 10.
A modest round 10 for Tomas. And Aldous?
22.
22 as well. Who's going first, Resvin or Aldous?
I'll be
Player's
Resvin.
choice.
I think Resin has higher decks.
Aldous
Mine's
goes
+2.
next. And your
Yeah.
Dungeon Master will be going on an 8 plus bonus, bringing him underneath Tomas at a whoop.
My dex is actually.
Done. With that said, let's get some people situated.
Oh boy.
We've got horses to place. Let's do that as
You gotta keep them separated.
Alright, so these will do. Nicely.
Come out and play.
So, bigger Clydesdale for bigger dude. There's Aldous. And there's a bird. And a gnome. And I need some of that. And hopefully, actually, we still have ice in there. Talk to me? Yeah, a little bit. Alright, cool.
So I'm gonna take the meat out of my pack and throw it in front of me.
You
As
do
far as
so.
I can.
Okay. The meat goes out.
And I take out my auto-loading crossbow.
Is it there? No.
Rare bears. Wow.
The one was charging forward, as there was one in the background. But as it charges forth in the rain, and you huck forth the meat, which of course lands in the dirt before. I'm trying to imagine if it would work. It would be pungent enough. It's already charging towards. Odds or evens? What's it
Odds.
gonna be? Odds? I never know how to take that. It's a natural 20, which is still evens. The point being,
And I was wrong. Yeah.
the bear charges forward. As Resvin tosses the meat forth and pulls out his crossbow, I will count that drawing of a weapon as a free, and I will count that tossing of the meat as a bonus, and so that means you still have a standard and a movement.
Okay. I'm gonna get off the horse as my movement,
That's fine.
and I'm gonna pull the trigger as my standard.
That sounds terrific.
Alright. Where's the attack roll on this one?
It should be.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay, 8 plus 7 is 15.
15 will hit. Oh, yeah.
Roll your damage.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if I hit or not. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I said you hit.
Oh, okay. I was waiting. Okay. And 7.
7 points.
Yes. 2 plus 5. Yes.
Whammo. The arrow, I should say the bolt, sails away. The thing roars out in pain as you strike into its furry body. It's not so cuddly now. as it roars towards. Aldous in the background, what do you do? Or Aldous to the side, what do you do?
I want to cast Reduce on the other one.
Reduce. Right on.
Re-
It's gonna roll a save. It's gonna. What's your DC actually?
My DC is a 13.
Ooh, shit! It might make it. What is it? Is it a con save?
Con.
It's
Yeah.
a con, eh? Don't give me ideas.
I didn't inject them. You can't use them.
Bear with me a moment, guys.
Ah! It hurts.
Con +3. It's gonna resist your reductive. Shitty.
Probably did.
Yep. This was usually happens.
So as the thing comes charging forth, and Aldous casts out towards it, much to his chagrin, he watches as the etheric energy washes off the thing's fur like so much water off a duck's back, or in this case, a wet bear. Victor, we focus in upon you once again.
Am I still on the horse?
Technically, yes. Your
It's
movement to get off, sir.
the movement to get off. Okay.
Do it with
I'll
a
go ahead
flourish.
and
Jump off of them.
try to decide, because I don't want to get mauled by two bears at once.
I don't know, some people are into getting tag teamed.
Can I run around to the back bear?
You may.
I'll go ahead and do that.
Alright. You rush in as fast as your barbarous legs can carry you. Are you going like left or right?
I'll go left.
Okay. Pitching off in a crescent such, the camera pans against, showing you as you carry forth. I guess you're single moving, double moving? What are we doing here?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Are you single moving or double moving?
I am single moving.
So you have 40 feet?
And my movement is 30 feet.
You have 30 feet?
Yeah, I have 30 feet.
You can reach him if you're okay with going past the bear, the first bear.
It's hard to hear again, Dylan.
That's because I'm a ways away from the microphone.
I'll actually go to the first bear instead, and I'll rage and hit it with my great axe.
Alright. You rush in upon him. Rage on calling!
Rage. And I rolled a 14 plus 6 to hit, which is a 20.
That hits.
Okay. 8, 9, 10, 12, 14. It's 14 damage plus Divine Necrotic Fury from my, what is it called? Using traits.
Goodbye. Great.
Yeah, from my Divine Fury, which is an extra 2, so a total of 16 damage.
Total of 16 monstrous damage. Fabulous stuff. Bringing him to 23 from 7 as you fly in upon him, closing the distance expertly, raising up your axe and bringing it down upon him. The thing roars out as you cleave upon him, causing a massive wound to open up against his furry body. Flapping skin opening up and the wound gushing gore forth. The camera swings to Tomas.
Can I center a cube in between both of them?
Center a cube? What?
A cube, 20-foot cube.
I got a 15-foot cube we can measure with for the time being. But yes.
Yeah. I don't want to get Victor inside of it. That's all.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yeah, you can get away with it.
Okay. So I'll cast Fairy Fire on them.
Oh, that's fine. They illuminate.
Dex save of 13.
Oh, that's right. And one's gonna make it, one's gonna fail. We'll say that the one that's facing off with Victor doesn't get it.
Okay. So the one in the back, if you attack it, you all get advantage. And then I will move my horse. I will move backwards with my horse.
You pull on the reins and the horse chuffs as you roll me animal handling.
You said you roll for animal handling.
Okay. Natural 20.
You easily pull the reins backwards. The horse appreciatively moves away from the combat. And with that, we swing it upon as... I'm gonna fix camera focus there. It's terrible. There we are. Sorry, as the rains continue to pound down, where's my rain noise? My rain seems to have disappeared. Let's get that out. The bear rears back and leaps down upon. With a swiping claw of 9 plus 7 for 16 against the barbarian's AC.
That hits.
It smashes into you with its raging claws, delivering a whopping 4 plus 5 for 9 slashing damage, halved to 4 slashing damage upon you. As it grabs you with its claws, it brings its jaw in to bite upon you. You manage to pull yourself back, thrusting with your body weight. You roll away from the bear, and the camera pans to the one in the background that comes tromping past, roaring and leaping in upon all this yonder.
It's on me. I can't really hear it. The music's really loud.
Can you turn down the music?
No! It has to be amazing!
Can you turn it up so we can't hear anything at all?
As the
Is it
bear
on me?
rushes in upon, leaping through the air with a 12 plus and then a 13 plus 7. It rakes upon poor Aldous for a 5 plus 5 for 10 slashing damage, and then bites into the poor elf once again for an additional 7 piercing.
Ooh, God, all this.
Can I cast shield as a reaction?
Yes. On the first attack, your shield would go off.
Yeah.
So your AC right now would be 20. Is 20? Did either of them get a 20? Did any of those attacks get a 20?
Nope, he'd be alright. So as they come rushing in upon, you immediately... No, that's not what you do. That's not what you do at all. The shield bounces up between you and the bear as the bear comes hurtling in towards. Its massive claws rake against the etheric shield. Exploding energy sparks sprout off of the surface as it falls backwards and then chomps in upon, unabated. Bouncing again off of the surface of the arcanic shield, it rebounds backwards and roars in upon you angrily. Camera swings over to Resvin. What are you doing, buddy?
I get to go.
You
Okay,
do.
I thought it was going to be attack.
Rock and roll!
I'm going to roll. Okay.
The one in front of all this, you have advantage on. That's one ahead of them.
I am going to take the 1 pound stone out of my pocket that I carry, and I am going to catapult it.
Okay.
Catapult.
The dex save DC.
Natch 20.
Oh,
You're the king of such.
half damage, right? Though, right?
Is it a cantrip?
He casts catapult, so it's like a
No. Yeah, it's a first level transmutation.
Okay, so it's half damage then.
Yeah, okay. So we got 3, 1, 8. It's 12.
12 points of damage.
12 points of damage.
And this is the one in the back, or sorry, this is the one that was fairy fired, or the one that's facing off against Victor?
This is the one that's on Victor. Oh, sorry, the one I have advantage on.
The one that's on Aldous. Okay. Sorry, how much damage again?
12 divided by 2.
6.
So 6.
6, that's right, yeah. We'll put it over here. Oh, wow. It's terrible. Okay, very good. As you catapult, what are you catapulting at him?
A block of a 1 pound block of marble.
Okay, fair enough. It smashes into him, exploding against the grizzly's skull. And fun fact about grizzlies, they have strangely angled skulls, such that if you're aiming towards them, you have to be a really good marksman if you're going for a headshot. Otherwise, it'll literally just ski off of their head. So anyway, as you're firing this marble in, as luck would have it, it careens off of the side of his head, rolling against the skull. It leaves streak marks in his skull. But minimal damage as it is, due to their crazy grizzly skull, the thing continues to charge an attack unabated. Aldous.
I don't know if I can. I'm gonna just go ahead and cast Firebolt.
So it's just it's a regular roll.
Yeah.
Your horse panics, by the way. I should probably throw this out there. The horses in front panic and begin to bolt. This one as well, heading off in the opposite direction.
So that's a 14.
Okay.
No, that's a 24. 19 plus 5, yeah, 24. 18. That's only 3 damage.
3 damage?
Yeah,
Firebolt's not good.
it's just a cantrip because I don't think I can cast another spell because I cast
No, shield is a reaction.
Is this
But
the
isn't
one
it
that's directly
still-
in front of you?
spell of my turn. Yeah,
No, it's not. It's reactions don't count as.
Because you don't have combat casting and it's a ranged attack, so technically you'd have disadvantage on the attack too.
No, he has an advantage because of fairy fire. So it's
Oh, that's true. Fair that. Right. I forgot
it
about
was
that.
just straight roll. Yeah.
No, that's fair. Alright, so 5 points. Or sorry, up to 15 points for the 3 damage from 12 to 15. As your firebolt sizzles in the pouring rain and explodes against the wet grizzly's body to very little effect. As you look upon the barely singed fur and the roaring, mighty body of the hulking furry thing. Is there anything else to declare?
No, because if I move it, I can get fucked up. So no.
That is a fair assessment. Victor.
I give Victor inspiration. You can do that, right?
You feel that he can do it. He feels that you feel he can do it.
Go you! Go you!
Go You!
Fucking bunch of insanity.
In my fit of rage, I yell out, "You're gonna be a nice pelt." And I take my axe and swing at his head, try to maybe see if I can knock it out. But obviously I'm going for damage.
Do you want to make a called shot? Is that what you're trying to do?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. You can go ahead. You know what? There is actually, I've seen some homebrew rules for this. So go ahead and roll away. His AC goes from 12 to 17 on this for a headshot.
Rolled exactly a 17.
Perfect. As your blade comes sailing through the rain, leaving a streaking arc through the water, it smashes down upon the grizzly's skull, splitting against the thick bone structure. You hear a satisfying crack under your blade as with a 13 plus 3, it actually does manage to stay conscious. But how much damage? You're doing... I don't remember if there was extra damage on it.
It was a total of 14 damage with my Divine Fury.
Victor, are you adding a +1 for your axe too?
I am, yes. Yeah.
Did you not get to roll it twice with inspiration? Or like, what does inspiration do?
Well,
I mean,
for
With
bards, it's
inspiration,
like
you get advantage on your next roll.
Yeah. Well,
You get when you use it. Whatever roll you want to use your advantage on is basically what it is.
Okay. But you need to call it. You need to give them inspiration before, right? Like, or is it if it fails, then you can inspire them?
I mean, I've never really worried about the order of operations, as it were.
Okay.
My
It
dulcet
was actually
tones.
15 damage. Sorry about that.
Okay. Because I was wondering, if he got the one, does he get to roll another one and have a chance at a nat 20? Right? Like if I threw inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care. At the end of the day, if you want to play it that way, it's up to you. You have advantage, you can just freely use it.
Okay.
It's the same thing with luck rolls. I don't really worry about whether or not someone declares that they want to use their luck before or after a roll.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll save it for next time because I already rolled damage and everything. But it was a total of 15 damage.
15... Oh, in that case, he has one more then. Cool. Smashing into him, the thing stumbles to the one side, trying its best to stay aloft, narrowly falling unconscious from the immense blow. It stumbles sidelong as the camera pans against your face. You're raising the axe. It shows your reflection in it for a brief second. Bits of fur and blood stuck to it, and an expression of what?
Just a big old grin. I love a fight.
Reflected in the surface of the axe. The camera
If it's
pulls
something bigger than me,
backwards
I'm even happier.
to show Tomas with his on his horse's back. I should say you're riding.
Yeah. I'm ready to. So I'll cast Dissonant Whispers on the bear on Aldous.
Okay,
DC 13 Wisdom.
it's gonna fail that.
Okay, so it has to use its reaction to move away from Aldous.
Sounds good. The bear in front of Aldous suddenly stops, baring its teeth, growling at you. It lands down on its haunches and starts to pull away almost immediately. As the camera pans in upon to show your surprised expression, the bear suddenly turns and flees with an attack of opportunity available to you.
Slap it with my quarterstaff.
Yeah, get out of here, bear! Fuck you, bear!
So that is probably gonna miss. That's 8. That's a 9.
9 is in fact going to miss, just barely hitting his tail fur as he scarpers away, fast as his furry legs can carry him. With 4 paws scrabbling through the mud, the bear carries off into the brush as fast as he can.
All did you do with advantage?
No, I didn't, but with advantage, you make it an 18, so that would be a bit.
The one facing off against Victor with the bleeding skull disengages and does the same, following in with the bear, crashing through the brush.
I have an attack of opportunity as well.
I have one too with my crossbow.
Not with a ranged attack, gentlemen.
No.
It has to leave from your area.
Okay.
Attack.
Got it.
But
That's-
do I have attack of opportunity? Since
That'd
I'm
be 4 damage.
He disengaged.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When you pick up Sentinel, then you can fuck me over that way. But he turns and flees, crashing through the forest as fast as he can, in chase after his companion. The grizzlies disappearing into the forest. They're just at the edge of it when the camera swings around to show Resvin, who can still see them just barely through the rain and the brush. They have total cover, so attacking them is a 17 or better to hit.
If you want to hit the one, you can try to hit the one that's lit up, because the that one is.
Oh yeah, you do have advantage.
On
It's
what?
17 to hit, but you have advantage on the one that's lit up.
Okay.
Ooh.
So 17 on the
Hits.
one.
Hits.
Cool. Alright, and damage is 9.
9!
9.
And that one got 12 damage from me, DM.
The one that has advantage?
Yeah,
Or the
that
one that has
from
fairy
my
fire?
dissonant whispers.
Okay. 9 and sorry, how much did you say? 9 and
12, and then
Nine,
Oliver's got 4 for his quarterstaff because he got to do it with advantage. So,
okay. So 13 and 12 for another 25 brings up to 40 points. Wham! They rush away as fast as they can, and good thing too, as they're on the verge of death. Seeking away into the forest as fast as they can to lick their wounds. The camera pans overhead to show the lot of you down below as they scarper off.
I tell Victor and Ellis, your horses are getting away.
Yeah, so by the way, it is my turn, and I'll move them now.
I'm going to be going to.
Yeah.
Can I cast sleep on my horse?
Yes.
I mean, I gotta get it to stop, right?
Yeah, you have to roll hit points. I don't have a save in this. You have to
I
roll
think
it.
it's like 5d8 then or something.
Yeah. Go ahead.
5d8.
Go ahead and roll it.
It's like the most useful
8,
spell ever.
16,
You have to roll 13.
17, 18,
Or
20, 20, 8, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 31.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's probably asleep.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Well, you have an-
slot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense, yeah.
So you're gonna tranquilize your horse?
Yeah, 31. So I'm pretty sure that is enough hit points.
I'm pretty sure too. Actually.
That's more than I've got.
Man, it is a horse.
Yeah.
I think that would drop everybody but Victor.
No, that drops it.
Yeah. So then I'm gonna go to my sleeping horse.
Yeah. So the horse is
piece of
like
fruit.
the horse is nee nee hee. And so you make your way over to it.
Grab some of my fruit or a vegetable or probably a vegetable and go up to the horse and kind of just start like petting its face and wake it up.
That sounds good. Meanwhile, what are we doing about this one, Victor?
I'm just running full sprint to try to catch it
All right,
at this point. I don't have any special magics.
that's fine. The camera crossfades to show the passage of time as you guys have a short rest, and Victor shows up later with his horse.
I'm wondering, should we try and hunt the bears?
No.
Track them?
Hold on, so we get a short rest.
But
Yeah, they do.
Everybody but Victor?
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not really even touched.
Yeah, Bill.
Well, short rest just because it's going to take you that long to find your horse.
Yeah, you guys gonna do that. It's
Well,
gonna take me a while to come back.
Well, we can go riding with it, right? Like, I can
well,
hop on my horse.
if I can I?
You guys can chase along instead of having a short rest. That's totally
Yeah,
viable
I'll do
too.
that instead. So we have. I don't want to waste an hour.
That's
hop on the
fine.
horse.
Do you want to chase after his horse?
Yeah, I'm still on mine, so I'll
Alright.
go chase after.
Roll me animal handling as you rush after his horse.
It's gonna be It's gonna be.
If they're chasing after the horse, can I chase after the bears instead?
I mean,
I really want that pelt.
Yeah, I'm taking that rest with my horse too.
I think we're gonna be able to take a short rest without all this.
I'm going to go get the
If
horse.
I can get the horse, it's a 15 for animal handling.
Okay. So with a 15 for animal handling, you rush in after the horse and manage to grasp a hold of the reins, leading the horse back a moment later. So, in answer to your query, I mean, yes, you could go hunting after the bears, but your companions already come back with your horse.
Okay. Alright.
We have to get to. It's almost nighttime, guys. We have to get to Arabelle.
No, yeah, I understand. It's the rage. It's barbarian
Yeah,
rage.
but we have to get to. Are there any spirit? Do we see any spirits at all right now?
No, there's nothing.
Oh.
Nothing like that. Nothing fancy.
Okay, let's get to Arabelle.
Thank you, Tomas.
No worries.
I appreciate it.
Someone has to be the dad of the group. Talking about that.
I'll get back on my horse and we'll start heading out.
Cantering through the rain as fast as you can. Hours pass by, and it grows darker and darker. Before long, you see the buildings in the distance, the walls of the city rising high, and the fog nestled against the ground all about. Coming in closer towards, you can see tracks in the muck, the deep mud of the road, trod upon by peasantry, wagons, soldiers, and whomever else. The closer you come to the city, you're now probably about 20 minutes, half an hour away, and the traffic, despite the rain, is relatively busy, one might say, with the odd peasant making their way up or down the road with a bucket, a fishing rod, or whatever and what have you that they're on about, whatever business or affairs they are off to conduct.
I look for any deep ruts in the road because if it's carrying like that much gold.
Make me a
and
perception
platinum-
check.
Alright, let's do a perception.
Could I try out survival?
Yep.
So would that, is that passive wisdom or is that intelligence or passive investigation?
A perception check is your perception skill or wisdom attribute on a roll.
There it is. Got it.
I got a total of 19 for my survival.
Very
I'm
nice.
checking for heavy wagons.
With the both of you surveying the roadway as you tread upon it, you can easily see there's lots of tracks. And I mean lots.
Anyone
Deep
deeper
ruts, plenty of. Deeper than all the rest, nothing stands out that way. despite the excellent roll, you can see that there's a lot of traffic that passes through here. In fact, almost to drive the point home, as you continue up the road, you can see a retinue of soldiers, looks like 4 of them collected together, nestled against a wagon that is laden with bodies and weapons all the same. An old, disheveled-looking figure with hulking shoulders and a hunched back stands aside the soldiers, haggling about something, holding up numbers and pointing at the wagon, but you can't quite make out what they're haggling about for the rain. Before long, you find yourselves entering in upon the township proper, the surrounding walls coming into view, sprouting up against the horizon. As you come towards the gatehouse, the camera slowly fades to black.
Perfect.
Nice.
Woo. Okay, good. I need to go to another tailor.
Yep.
Good. Nice. Very nice.
Not bad.
Yeah. Good session. Do.
Rick, what'd you like? What'd you hate? What's your part? What'd you like least?
Okay, so what did I like? Nothing it's always good, but nothing stood out. I found this session was a little bit slower, and I got bogged down with like bunny trails and little small things. Like when I was trying to pick up the cask, I wasn't trying to do a 25-minute. And I love that you do add that much color. I found I just feel guilty when I separate from the group and not everybody's able to have that kind of interactivity or involvement in a scene. So that's it.
Cool. Sammy, what'd you like? What'd you hate? What's your part? What's the least?
Once again, love the setup. I keep beating a dead horse, it seems. Love you being as a DM, the way that you draw the picture, the story. And once again, there's not much to dislike. It did feel slower paced, but that's just because we were traveling from one point to another. You know, you gotta have those episodes. But overall, I had a great time.
Right on. Tin, what'd you like? What'd you hate? What's your part? What's the least?
Yeah, I like, yeah, it's yeah, today was like slower, but we are missing like a player, so I'm okay with that because like Doc didn't miss like that much. Like it like we could like summarize this session as like a good way to. If he missed a session, it's like good that he missed this one because it's not as like we didn't have any like groundbreaking discoveries or anything. So
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. And then I guess like my favorite part is just the interaction with this group. Like kind of I really like role playing with you guys, and they're just like really positive, and we let each other just shine, and nobody's like hogging everything. So that's what I like.
Right on. Justin, what'd you like? What'd you hate? What's your part? What's the least?
Can I interject for a second? You know what I did notice is the background sound effects and all the rain and stuff. It actually kind of made me feel like it was rainy and dreary, and I actually like could feel the atmosphere.
It's cold. It's cold
Yeah.
and shitty and wet.
Absolutely. and I found that like it kind of affected my brain and how I'm like I could physically put myself there. So that was really cool.
Right on. Justin, again, what'd you like? What'd you have?
So all the same stuff always, you know, especially when I'm the last one to say something. It's the same as everybody else said. You know, it's great. It was slower, but that was fine. everything's pretty good. I will say that, like, to jump off the sound was really good, but at the points where it get really loud, I think we gotta start telling him as soon as we feel like it's too loud. Because I'll sit here and sometimes I won't realize that, like, I'm trying to, like, listen to you,
And you
and I'm
can't
trying
quite
to just
hear.
make it through the music, and it's
Yeah.
not until, like, usually Resvin says, "Hey, your music's too loud." I'm like, "Dude, I've been trying to listen to him for the past, like, 5 minutes, and I haven't even said anything myself."
I still
I
can't
just
believe
up
we
the
started.
volume, just hear more, and then it just makes the loop music louder. It's like,
Yeah.
oh.
I still can't believe I started this stream off forgetting to turn the mics on. That's amazing.
But yeah, it's all been pretty good.
Right on.
I think my group of guys has been pretty good.
I like the session. I didn't mind the pacing. I didn't mind the more or less lack of combat.
I don't mind any of that.
It
I
was
really wanted to chase after that bear.
yeah.
I really wanted that belt.
It was just a matter of
At the same time, too, we didn't play last week, so we may have felt like we expected more this week.
Yeah, but we're missing a player, so it's still good.
Yeah.
yeah, like there was a choice on my part of to how involved to make the episode. And as far as a travel episode goes, I mean, it had a good opportunity for filler. I wasn't too worried about rushing through any objectives, and that's why literally if you went to blow your nose, it was going to be a role playing session. Oh, you take the handkerchief out of your leather sack there, roll me investigation to find it. You know, it was going to be. It didn't matter. You know, because we're missing a guy, and if I start going through any major objectives or story points, and he's got to be there, then I'm going to feel bad that he's missing out on that. But more to the point is, like, there's however much stuff between here and there, so it had ample opportunity to let you guys explore if you wanted to. But then you guys, you know, you eventually got to Evening Star, and you're like, let's get new forces and get the fuck out of here. And there you go. So now you've come upon.
There's this incredible urgency to get there.
Well, that's because
we're
that's
trying to
because you
find that
read on the
something.
note.
Also, there's a war effort. There's apparently a war effort. What the fuck? Is somebody's planning a war right now? And then the core guy just mentioned that there hasn't been a war at all, so that kind of raised a red flag. And then the counting guy, I think the guy might be working with the Iron Throne because he's the finance guy, and they're a financial group with like.
You mean Luther?
Yeah. The finance guy for the Red Sash, he's missing, so I thought that he might be connected to the Iron Throne because he's the finance guy. So there's a lot of webs to attach to strings. Like
That's why I was curious if we had knew who the finance guy was
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, so it's like there's a lot of things to connect here. That's what I like.
Well, it's fun, and in truth, I mean, while I've got the idea of who done it and what's going on and etc., there's a lot of fine threads that you don't have to worry about connecting, and you can make up as you go. So as long as you don't cross your web, cross your threads, that is, it leaves things nice and open so that you can let the story kind of develop on its own, which is fun.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, right on.
See you next week.
Everybody takes another, I guess, 400 experience for this session.
How much?
What was that?
400 experience. Wait, what level are you guys?
Level 3.
Sorry, my bad. I'm thinking of my Erngard campaign. You guys can take 200 experience.
Oh, you're so stingy.
A little more modest there.
Yeah.
Should be level
You
20
guys
by now.
walked the road and didn't kill some grizzlies.
Didn't even feel
Let us kill them.
Well, they didn't want to die. What do you want?
Slut my own horse.
Bye.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome. Well, y'all have a great night and have a great weekend. See you next Thursday.
Cheers.
Yeah, see ya.
Crazy, man. So,
So buttons.
good job, man.
Thanks.
Buttons.
Yeah, you never heard that saying? Sew buttons.
No. No, I get it now, but it's like, no. Yeah, it's like 2 a.m. here. It's crazy.
Yeah, no shit. I feel bad. It's like 20 to 11 over here.
You know what? I'm wired for sound though. I like.
Yeah, well,
I
you should
have
be.
the worst sleeping time, and I stopped drinking a week ago, so
Oh,
it's
good.
been. No, it's terrible. I can't sleep. Like I was using it to actually fall asleep, and now I haven't slept in a week, or haven't slept properly in a week.
I feel that completely, actually. I've experienced that. That was my last year, as a matter of fact. But mind you, not being able to sleep was, the smallest of my issues. Yeah, oh my god, my equilibrium was toast, and it was really rough.
Wow.
Talk to a doctor. They can give you some shit for that. They can balance you out. I mean, if you're gonna tough it out, tough it out. But I'm just saying, if you wanted something for it, it's not an uncommon
My brain
thing.
chemistry is so weird. The only thing that'll work is like narcotic level stuff, and anything else, like if I take melatonin or chamomile tea, it wipes me out the next day.
Really?
Yeah, it's either I can't sleep or I'm wiped out.
I want to say that goes away. Give it time. You'll sort. You'll feel right as rain in about a
It's
month's
been
time.
about 8 years though. No, it's been like.
I quit drinking last year. I just went through it.
But I never drank before. I only drank to fall asleep, and that's the only thing that works. And it's only tequila. Anything else screws me up.
Okay.
I wish I could figure it out. I'm honest. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's all anecdotal. So, I mean, I can't really tell you what your mileage is going to be. So, I apologize for that.
No, it's all good. I wish. I'll try anything at this point, and I have tried the whole doctor thing, and they sent me to sleep clinics and all kinds of things. And they're just like, yeah.
Yeah, take a dab. There you go. So what Wild's saying here. Rosie's saying. Take a
What's a
dab.
dab?
Take a dab of THC.
God, that messes me up. Like THC is the worst thing in the world. I
Edibles
thought it was
fuck
the
with
first
me
time.
too. But, I mean, they make me sleep. That much they do. They make me
Yeah.
sleep pretty good.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's just not good. Yeah, and I've tried CBD. I've tried THC. I've tried mixing different levels.
Doesn't
I
help,
tried-
eh?
Tried like 8 different strains, and there's probably one out there that'll work for me, but it's
Oh, yeah.
more work than I can figure out.
Oh, man.
You're right.
I
I'll let you
am.
go.
I should. To those of you who are still watching, stalwart as you are, if you like what you see, we stream every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 p.m. until whenever we finish. Until next time, it's been my pleasure to be your Dungeon Master, your entertainer, and with the help of my plethora of personalities that make up the palette of my wonderful players, taking you on the adventures that we have. Until next time, may your 20s always land on 20. And oh, by the way, tomorrow at 6 o'clock, we've got the Waterdeep Sanitation Department coming through for another exciting night of seeking out him, he, it, the Necromancer, Strocius, situated down in the depths underneath.
Is that the Tuesday game?
No, Tuesday was Iron Guard, actually. This is my
Oh,
off-schedule group. We've just happened to schedule for a Friday night. So, good times.
So jealous. Awesome. Catch you tomorrow.
Cheers. And until next time, well, keep fit and have fun. Later all.